But first, to the top national political story breaking this hour. The opposition INDIA alliance met in New Delhi for the first time after the assembly elections to the 5 states, and sources say that Trinamool Congress chief and West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee had proposed that Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge be made the prime ministerial face of the alliance. It's understood that Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal backed Mamata Banerjee's proposal. Speaking after the meeting, though, Mr. Kharge said, "Let's win first and then talk about the prime ministerial phase." Sources say he had politely declined that proposal. The meeting, in the midst of the unprecedented events and suspensions in Parliament, was seen as crucial in the road ahead for opposition unity. 28 parties attended the meeting, from DMK's M.K. Stalin to Bihar Chief Minister. Several opposition parties had pointed out that the assembly election results in the Hindi heartland showed that the only way to challenge the BJP was to unite the opposition vote. It has been decided that 8 to 10 meetings will be held across the country. The focus is now on seat sharing arrangement and finalizing on common candidates for the alliance.
हमने पहले सभी लोग जीत के आना है, जीत के लिए क्या करना उसके बारे में हम सोचे। कौन प्राइम मिनिस्टर बनना ये बाद में की बात है। एमपीज अगर नहीं है तो प्राइम मिनिस्टर की बात करके क्या फायदा है। तो इसीलिए हम पहले अपनी संख्या बढ़ाने के लिए एक होकर सभी लोग लड़ के हम मेजॉरिटी लाने की कोशिश करेंगे।
Well, for the latest on that meeting and the road ahead, joining me now is my colleague Sunil Prabhu, who tracks the Congress very closely. Sunil, largely the focus of the alliance meeting was also to send out the optics clearly that things are back on track after those assembly election results.
That's right, Veer Raghav. And in fact, I have with me a close confidant of Mr. Kharge, a Congress Working Committee member who was not part of the deliberations but in and out looking after the logistics. Do we congratulate you on Mr. Kharge's, the fact that he's been suggested by no less than Mamata Banerjee as well as, Arvind Kejriwal and among others for being a prime ministerial candidate, though he's politically declined?
So to be very frank, I was not part of the deliberations there. But then when we had this press conference, there was this question from some of you people.
I had asked.
But then you asked this question, Prabhu, and then Kharge ji made it very clear what is our party's priorities, what should be the priorities of India Alliance. Then he said that we actually need to go out, fight together, get our MPs elected, and then only then these things can be discussed.
But he's a natural, you see, because he's the Dalit face, he's senior, he's also got age on his side, he has been a veteran leader, he's come up from the grassroots level. Why should he politically decline it at this present juncture?
See, as I told you earlier, I was not there in the meeting. Who said what, who proposed what, I don't know. But the fact remains that as the Congress president, he was authorized to speak to the press on behalf of all the parties, and he spoke there. You people questioned him, and he answered there. And I think that should be the priority of any political party now, because we all parties, different parties, and with an clear-cut agenda to save democracy, to save constitution, to protect our diversity, and protect our autonomous institutions that have been built over a period of 75 years. And when we all have come together for all these things, so it doesn't matter what happens next. What is more important is we go out, build up a narrative, have proper seat sharing, have a fantastic campaign, expose the present government, expose the corruption of the present government, and then win the election, get MPs, and then all these questions come up.
Is it because of the fact that you were present when I spoke to Mr. Kharge in Raipur? At that time, he made it clear that the Congress won't project a prime ministerial candidate. That's been the history of the Congress party. Is that really holding him back, or what's holding the Congress party and others to accept when there is a unanimity on his name?
See, there are two different things. What Congress party will do will be decided by Congress Working Committee, President, and the former presidents. They all will sit together and they'll decide what they have to do, what their strategy should be, what their issues should be. When it comes to alliance, it is the alliance, the leaders of the India alliance who will have a strategy. And I think in today's meeting, as mentioned by Ms. Mallikarjun Kharge ji, that what is more important for is to win the election. Rest all comes after that.
And you also, when winning the election, you have also raised doubts on the EVM, saying that the Election Commission is not meeting you and you want the VVPATs to be counted separately.
See, you have to understand, political parties were meeting today. Some of them are there in power in some of the states, some of them are there in opposition. We have had experience of this, they just fought elections. Different people have different experiences in different states. So they have a right to share their experiences. They have a right to air their opinions, which they have done. And they have collectively taken certain decisions. Certain resolutions were also passed, which we will release it in some time. And then there were differing views on different subjects. Obviously, it will be when 28 parties meet. So now I think what is more important is that 151 MPs have been suspended. This is unprecedented. And this has happened for the first time in the history in the past 75 years of our parliamentary democracy. This has to be contested. The party in the power has to be exposed. This is how they behaved in Gujarat when Modi ji and Amit Shah ji were there. This is what they are doing in the parliament here. If you try to have an opposition-mukt parliament, then there will be no debate, no discussion. It will be only bulldozing of the bills that will be happening in the parliament.
But your biggest challenge remains seat adjustments.
I think when all political parties have come together, when they have met for 5 times, when they are resolved to go ahead with one banner, when they are resolved to fight against the present regime on important issues, so seat adjustment shouldn't be a problem, and it will be done at the state levels.
And by when?
As soon as possible. The process will start now.
Thank you very much. So here you have it, V. Raghav, very categorical statement, very honest assessment, and clearly at present the Congress politically declining. Mr. Kharge himself, despite coming from the grassroots, but definitely interesting days ahead of the 2024 Lok Sabha polls.